Welcome everybody to the first official NE Designs webcast. I'm Pacificoaster, and joining me today we have Nin and Robbie. Say hello, guys.
Hello, hello.
Alright, so
Hey.
the awards recently came open for voting, and I thought it would be a good time to discuss our predictions. What do you guys think about that? Sounds like a good time?
Let's do it.
Do it
Yeah.
up.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, you know.
Over here. Alright.
I gotta actually find them. Hold on, yeah. Carry on, let me pull them up.
Alright, so let's start with the first award. We got Best RCT2 Park. Let's see what Robbie thinks. Robbie, what do you think's the best RCT2 park of 2012?
Easily Le Rêve Parapluie, for sure.
Your pronunciation's
That
magical.
that stole
Man, I love
the
pirates.
show.
What about you? What about you, Kyle? What do you think?
I'm a big Tivoli Gardens, Disney's American Waterfront fan.
Well, thank you, sir.
Oh,
That means a lot. I
Well, that makes
think-
one.
I personally think Le Rêve is magnificent. Just the scale of the architecture in this park, like, it's so large, but the cohesion overall just brings it all together and makes it, like, all seem in scale. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. Everything works really well together. I like that there's kind of a cohesive story going throughout, and then you can look and there's the little details that support it. Things like, umbrellas in the trees and the umbrellas catching water off of that wooden coaster and
Oh, I
umbrella supporting other coasters.
It's the
Your
umbrella.
hammer. It's Umbrella Land.
Jeez.
It's great.
This huge, like, cathedral thing honestly must have taken Avenine, like, forever. It's ginormous, but it is just so beautiful. Kudos to you, sir. Kudos to you. And I agree with you with the clouds and the umbrellas and the raining. Oh my god. That rain object, awesome. Awesome. Love
Never
it.
used better.
Never used better, if I say so myself.
Hasn't exactly been used ever, but, I mean...
I think it was using
No,
earlier on
Kuba
Zombie
used
Land.
it. In
Yeah.
solo.
Oh, Coupon used it?
Used
Yeah,
it,
okay,
so-
yeah. Definitely used better here.
With his
Definitely.
bird.
Definitely.
Alright, so next award, we got Best RCT2 Design. My personal favorite, I'm going to have to go with Thunderclap here.
On a
It's-
technical side, I would say yes
Yeah.
to that.
What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, that's easily the top line for me. I mean, to be honest, most of the other designs I actually had a hard time kind of remembering what they were like.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
There was a couple that I actually forgot were released, but
The rapids
no,
in
Thunder
this
in terms of
design
technical
is,
skill.
oh my god. Technically what you guys were saying. with
Killer.
The rapids, it's ridiculous.
That station, the way that the coaster kind of wraps around that station like that with the airtime hill over the backside, and then it has that turnaround and then approaches from the front with the station fly-through is killer.
I agree.
As Lewis would say, dot flow.
It's got dot flow, mate.
That flies.
Something you
by.
can't
got
really see
dot-
from the overview is the station, like the queue house, like behind it. It just, oh my god, I could just imagine
Oh
standing
god,
there
that
and just
was-
watching the coaster fly by like all day. It looks amazing. And he does use track texture quite a bit. Might be even just a little bit too much, but just the way he did use it, it worked really well. Like he didn't misplace anything.
Yeah, he has a really creative use of track that I think
Yeah.
pretty much no other player can match.
Yeah, he's got it for like the borders right here of this like water fountain. He's got it for the roofs right here. He's got awnings
Yeah.
with a mine track. I mean, it is just,
He uses track like an LLer would.
oh my god.
What's the deal
but
with
then
the
piles on the RCT2 detail.
what's the deal with the brake run? Looks like the train's gonna fucking plow into it.
That break. Run.
Just kill some people.
the giant fins right there.
Oh, speaking of which, we have Geewhzz here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of retirement.
You legendary G-Man is right.
But I agree that those brakes are kind of funky. Why couldn't you just use like a regular flat monorail piece diagonally rather than use, I don't know what they call those, like skid brakes or something? Those older ones? I don't know.
Well, see, this is again where I said that it's like the technical level of it is really good, which makes it the best, but overall, I think it's a very ugly design. Especially, like, to the right half of the map.
Yeah.
Are you talking about
I mean,
the
I
main
think the
interior?
ugliness is kind of intentional.
He always, Disneyland, whatever, he always goes so far into the backstage stuff that it loses like any aesthetic appeal because everything in this park is just white and gray, and it's like all the backstage stuff is awesome, yeah. But it's like almost who cares?
I'm not.
I mean, obviously
I'm
he
not
does.
gonna lie. I was more interested in the backstage area than I was
gonna
with
say
it.
the
Like
same.
it's really
Extra
cool,
within
but it's
the park.
really ugly, and I don't know. To me, that's what set it back because it's a very white design. To me, there's nothing much going on.
It's about that trash dumpster.
That trash dumpster. Wow. I mean, I love this little entrance to this, like, I don't know, is this like reception? I don't know what that says, but it's like this diagonal use of monorail right here is just amazing. Amazing stuff. Overall, I don't really think I like the actual coaster itself, but with that rapids and just everything else, it's great. Definitely the
I
best.
think as overall, it's the best.
I think my favorite part's right before the brake run, where it goes down by the water.
Yeah, that's a nice little segment. And he's even got like peach ruined rocks, which is pretty interesting. You can really see that color used a lot on the rocks. Right, Kyle? You like ruined rocks. You let us know.
I do. Fetish.
Alright, let's move on to the
I had no
next
idea.
award. What's the next award we got here?
We have
Best LL release. What do you guys got to say about that? We'll start with Kyle this time.
Raven by Loopy.
Raven
I
by
actually liked
Loopy.
both of his. I like Leviathan a lot. Actually, I just looked at it recently, and I really did like it.
Leviathan
But
is good.
yeah, I would still definitely say Raven, just because the theme park atmosphere that it has. That something like what you just showed, Jerusalem, does not have anything like that. Yeah, it's awesome, and again, it's like really good on a technical level, but that doesn't make it better than everything else, in my opinion. I've always liked how Loopy, even though he's been adjusting as the game evolves and all that, but he still hasn't exactly lost everything to the technical side of Loopy Landscapes, or in some people's case, Roller Coaster Tycoon too.
Well said, sir. Well said. What about you, Robbie? What do you think?
I agree with Kyle. I found Raven to be the best of the year. I mean, I really did like Jerusalem. I thought that on a technical level, it was amazing. There was a lot of really great thematic ideas, but at the end of the day, it just ended up being really brown. Really brown at a certain point. And I guess the thing for me is what I really liked about Raven was this just the whole ride's interaction with the landscape and the buildings around it, and just how everything in the park kind of flowed together. And really, I think the layout really helped it. Dot flow. Yeah. No, I just think, and he like, I think the interesting thing is a lot of what Piero and Lewis and I think it was DJ who was the third person on Jerusalem. A lot of what they did in terms of hacks were coming up with these really creative, technical ideas. Like work is that when he kind of does these details, it's these little things that enhance the themes. Like there's horse stables in Raven, or like a well or a cauldron or something. I don't know, but like uses tracks and cars and stuff just to make things more interesting from the thematic side. So yeah, that's why I think that this one's definitely the best LL release of this past year.
Well said. What about G? Did you download any LL this year, past year?
Yeah, I took a look at them. I'd say I kind of like Cars Land the best.
Cars Land's great.
I thought Cars Land, that was probably my second favorite.
Probably I have to say just because I just went there and just saw the area firsthand, and then I come back and look at it. But I mean, everything else was good. I mean, Raven was really good. Obviously, I don't know, the layout could have been a little bit better. It was kind of unconventional, but I don't know. I wasn't really a huge fan of the pretzel, but I mean, it had good placement and everything. But everything was technically well built, like the castle and just all the surrounding areas. Jerusalem obviously was really good, but it kind of reminded me of Tempest a little bit, kind of just out there. But
Yeah.
I don't know, there's so much like intricacies to so many little things
Yeah.
to look at in Jerusalem. Like,
There's
the
so much
catapults
going
were
on.
Absolutely ridiculous. Like just the army coming in. They got like this like chief over here on a horse, and it's insane.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
Like look at this little like
I think-
catapult bow and arrow thing, whatever it is. Like that is amazing.
Trebuchet.
Yeah.
Oh my god, thank you.
I think Cars Land actually probably could have won for me if the landscaping was
Yeah.
more intricate.
What I love
Just
about it
because
was
Yeah.
the
flat
landscape
rides,
in the
though.
real version is so exciting.
Oh my gosh.
The what?
The flat rides in Cars Land, the RC
Yeah,
zone was
those
just-
are amazing.
Those were great. But yeah,
I like the
landscape-
diagonal tunnels in
Yeah,
the
those
cars.
are a nice little hack. I agree with that. Let's move on here. What else we got? Most original creation. Let's go, Robbie. What do you got for us, sir?
The Rev,
The Rev. I
the
agree.
Rev again. Just the idea of the idea of that story
Just
and just every single detail in the park. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of Hayao Miyazaki, guy who did Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle and those types of designs or movies, but the whole park felt like just this Miyazaki movie turned to the game, just fully thought out, fully immersive, really well crafted. And I think for me, in terms of most original, it's not only but it's also the execution, and I think aspects, it definitely was the best for me.
I pretty much mirror exactly what you say. That is exactly what I feel. Like, immersive is the perfect word to describe this. Like, we were just taking it to another realm, and like I was in the backstage of it, and like just when they were planning it, it just sounded incredible. They were just showing pictures of like Cirque du Soleil, and it was just, oh my god, it was magnificent. Just watching it being built from the ground up. What about you, Kyle? What do you got to say about most original?
To be honest, I need to look at the the nominations again. I already voted and I forgot my. So if someone could send me a list.
There's
real
actually here. I'll send you a link.
quick, or is there a
This
way to
actually
see it?
lists the topics up so that you can look at them.
What about you,
All
G?
right. Well, while he
the
looks at them,
meantime-
I'm going to say Ashcrombie Park, Ashcrombie, whatever, the county park. That's
For
My
most
favorite.
original,
yeah. I don't know. It just stood out to me. Like when I first saw it, it's just the first thing that really got me excited to see, and it was just fun to look at, just because it was unconventional, and it
thought
just
that-
seemed like he had a lot of fun doing it, even though it's simple.
Simple. But
I mean, I really
so-
like the landscaping and foliage with it.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I
landscape
guess just
foliage
looking
is
at the
amazing.
lineup for most original,
I don't see
Forest.
it maybe as original. I mean, sure, it's original in the fact that you didn't build a conventional theme park or anything, but I mean, I don't know. I think.
I mean,
other-
Tim Cross did that
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, but this was,
with
I don't know, I thought
Village
this was
Lakes.
done a lot better, and there was just something about it that I liked. I can't really put my finger on it.
I agree. That's really good. It's really good stuff. And Kyle's probably still looking through the awards, so he's pretty clueless on what he voted for. But it's okay.
I'll catch up. Carry on.
We'll move on to the next one. Oh, we're going into the Dat Flow Awards. We're going to start with the steel coaster with the best flow. What do you got to say? Geewhzz.
You got to come back to me. I got to.
That's
Take
okay.
a look
We'll
at 'em.
start with me because I'm awesome. I'm going to have to go with the Raven. I don't know. I don't have LL, so I haven't seen this in game, but maybe I'm just a sucker for black coasters, but just the interaction like with the path and just the way it just like transcends through this ridiculous landscape is amazing. Like it almost has like an air inspiration, but I don't know, man. I think it's just stunning support work. Just the interaction everywhere is just amazing. What about you, Rob? What do you got?
Yeah, I agree. I loved Raven, and again, it's that I'm a sucker for black on black. But no, just the whole layout and how it worked in the landscape, and I liked how it kind of had this mix of air, and then whatever that new one in China is called, with like a loop and
Starry
extra
Night
elements and stuff.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that one looks ridiculous.
yeah. Just I loved how it was unconventional. It was exciting.
It's beautiful stuff, my man. Beautiful stuff. What about you, Kyle?
I know Lewis is probably waiting for someone to say Jerusalem, but I am going to again agree with the Raven. Maybe I just have a soft spot for loopy stuff. I actually wish Leviathan was up here, but that first drop,
That was last year,
first
too.
element. Oh, it was? Okay. That first
Yeah.
drop was fantastic. And like it almost looks really awkward just because there's so much straight track in it. But I don't know. That part kind of made it. And then again, how it's a mix of air and Starry Night, and just how it interacts with everything. Sure, you have stuff like, yes, Jerusalem, among other stuff that's also interacting, like Ghostliner and Stingray a bit, stuff like that. But, I don't know. Plus, flying coasters and loopy landscapes always look so great, I think.
I agree. Let's see, G, we're coming back to you.
I mean, I really like Jerusalem.
You do like Jerusalem? Yeah, Jerusalem.
Yeah. I mean, it's a solid layout. I liked Ghostliner, and I also like Raven, of course. I don't know. I mean, like Raven, I find myself liking it. You know, but I don't know. The layout just it didn't do much for me. I mean, parts of it were really good, but I don't know. But it does have a little bit of everything, like you guys said, from kind of like drawn from every flyer, new and old, which is nice.
Yep. I gotta admit, Jerusalem.
I do enjoy the
second
ending.
favorite. It is really good. There's really no custom support work on like Loopy's flyer and Raven, which kind of throws it off a bit for me, but it's still a stunning layout. I agree. And then, yeah, definitely second best. How about we move on here? What else we got? What's next? Oh, we're still in that flow, but we're gonna go to the Woody side of things here. I'm gonna start off tooting Robbie's horn. I mean, I thought Ragnarok was just absolutely fabulous. It was so long, had that like Europa Park feel with the water coaster and that crossover on the bridge. It's just amazing. I mean, I know it's not an architectural like award or anything, but this station and like the interaction right at the queue is incredible. On that note, I'm gonna send it over to Robbie.
Yeah, I guess I'll avoid talking about my own work. So, I guess looking at the list of wooden coasters, I think other really notable ones. I know you hated the Thundercloud layout, but I do like how it worked around the station. I thought that was pretty great. And then the unpronounceable one in Corsair Viridian.
Oh,
I also really liked that one in terms of like, yeah, with the double loops, and then I think the moment that really stuck out to me with that one is the part where it's insanely high above the ground, and then like some of the supports were taken out, so the whole thing's like kind of perched atop this scaffolding.
Yeah,
that was really nice. And Ragnarok was decent.
Oh, you're so humble. What about you, G?
Probably gonna go with Thunderclap.
Thunderclap, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, I like the pacing, and I really like some elements of it, just especially like how it had the dual crossover over the little water, and I don't know. I mean, sometimes the layout doesn't have to look pretty to be good. I know sometimes people build to make stuff look good in RCT, but
yeah, GCI.
I mean,
it's very. One thing you said about the pacing is like that's one of the most important things if you're going to build like a GCI. Like it's got to be quick, but not too quick. Like Ragnarok was really fast in some parts, but I don't know, it just transcended through the entire landscape, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
Well said about Thunderclap. That's definitely an honorary mention for me. What about Kyle?
Again, I'm gonna have to say Thunderclap.
Oh man.
I watched that thing being built from the very beginning. I was actually the one that made the invisible entrance huts for it. But I don't know. I really like GCI coasters, and well, like G said, you don't have to have a pretty layout just to have like a good coaster. And not gonna I don't exactly consider this a bad looking layout because I love all the giant sweeping turns and like the double crossover. That kind of stuff's awesome. I mean, I'm not really one to talk about roller coasters. I don't really care for roller coaster design. I like theming, as most of you know at this point. But I mean, so I don't have too much to say, especially on wooden coasters because I don't know that much about them. Just the fact that GCIs are, in my opinion, the best. So I don't know. And I think of the GCIs that are on this list, Thunderclap is the best one.
Fine, I'll be by myself and I'll talk about Ragnarok. That's okay. We're gonna move on to. Oh wait, no. We're gonna move on to what is it?
Best non-coaster.
Yeah, best non-coaster attraction. I'm probably gonna have to keep it here and talk about Ragnarok's Viking ship. It doesn't work by any means, but I thought it just looked beautiful. Like the placement of it was great. Dude, like, oh my god, so beautiful. And then you have like the flags on the other side that you can't even see. Just fitted the theme incredibly well. What about you, Robbie?
Guys, we should make this interesting. Kumba's getting bored.
We're not talking about this stuff yet.
Hey, I'm sorry that not much more stuff's on here, Kimba. Sorry.
I'd say probably in terms of non-coaster attractions, it's got to be Steamboat Rapids.
Yeah.
Those rapids are amazing.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. What about you, Kyle? What do you got for us, sir?
I was about to say Tower of Terror from Disney American Waterfront, but it's only a pretty building. There's nothing going on in the inside. If you had hacked it to actually make the legit Tower of Terror system, bam, that'd be the best thing on this entire, like, anything on the nominations. But the fact that it's just a Woe Valley, whatever, just a few drop towers, that goes pretty far down on the list. Again, stuff like the Viking ship, that kind of stuff's awesome, but the fact that it's not really moving, I don't really consider it an option, if that makes sense. Technically, yes, it's a ride, but the fact that it's not moving, in my opinion, I would consider that scenery. You know, it's, hey, whatever. I liked Flight of Faith, or Flight for Faith, in The Siege. I've always liked Piero's, I'm assuming he made it, Piero's flat rides, because they're pretty legit, and I do think they need a mention. Just the way that they can stay so clean and still... I mean, well, that almost goes against what I just said about operational rides. But it kind of is operational. Other than that, it would probably just be... On an operational standpoint, it would be Steamboat Rapids and Thunderclap. Again, they kind of go, like, they're really white and almost boring looking.
Not
just
a fan
because...
of white, huh?
Well, it's not so much that, but it's like, the entire park seemed like a backstage area. It's like a giant backstage area with a steamboat parked in it and a roller
This
coaster.
steamboat is great, though. Oh my gosh. That steamboat. Another reason why that got best design for me. What about you, G?
Probably Tower of Terror, although I agree with a lot of what Kyle said.
Let's go. I gotta vote.
I don't know. I mean, the ride aspect could have been done a lot better, and like personally, when I build, that's what I try to look for and try to do the best at. But I just thought the theming was really good, and how you integrated the side of the map to just show off a lot more detail for the attraction and everything, and it worked really well. And I mean, that's one of my favorite non-coaster attractions in real life. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I also agree that the Steamboat Rapids was good.
Yep. Thank you, sir. I enjoy your kind words. Speaking of kind words, I'm going to toot my own horn here about best architecture for next vote. And I'm going to have to say my own. I just put so much time. Like, when I first started this park, I just thought, I'm going to try to build a park mainly based around architecture. And I think overall that was
It's the way to go, man.
pretty successful. I know that's probably what Kyle wanted to do the whole time, but yeah, that's why the coasters are really nothing magnificent or try to like overpower the architecture. I just try to like hide them as much as I could, and yeah, leave it open for you guys, I guess, for best architecture. Nin?
Well, I'd have to agree with you here, just because this park reminds me of something that I would make, and it's something that I really, really wanted to make in head-to-head. That's why when this finally came out, I was insanely jealous that the replacements never really made a park like this. We tried, but that kind of fell apart. I don't know. Like this is definitely the kind of park that I strive for, and so obviously it kind of hits home to me, so to speak.
I wish you could have been a part of it with me, Kyle. It would have been great times. You probably would have shown me a few things. And
Well, you could have
Robbie,
drafted him, Kyle, so...
yeah, you could have drafted both of us.
Me?
Me and Liam, we were trying to trade you, so I mean, hey.
Robbie, what you got?
Parketta.
Parketta? Is that even a
No.
nomination?
No, it's not. No, I agree with you guys. I mean, I found that GAW was, out of that list, the strongest architecture, and I think just the not only was it the strongest in terms of quality, just the sheer amount of it.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Like every tons and tons of buildings. Like that New York area is just dense. So yeah, that was really impressive. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job,
sir.
Pac. You're making your way up in the game.
I'm making my way up.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me. You know, obviously you're probably going to get the same answer from everybody that's on Skype or whatever, because I think that's all what we strive for. Like all four of us, whenever we build parks. So, I mean, definitely, you know, American Waterfront is the best for me.
Thank you. Means a lot. I'll just take that home with me. Moving on. What do we got here? Best atmosphere. Ooh, this one was kind of a tough one for me, I think. I had to say the Reve. I mean, as Robbie said before, it's just that word immersive is exactly what you strive for when you're going for atmosphere. And like, if you think you can like just sit in a corner of the map for like 5 minutes and just feel like you're there, I mean, that's atmosphere for me. I mean, I don't know. What about G? Start with G this time.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go. It's a toss-up for me between Ashcombe and Disney's American Waterfront, but I probably got to give it to Disney's American Waterfront, even though I thought the other one was really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, the place I would want to visit if it was real the most would be the Disney park, so especially for the atmosphere. But
Thank you. That means a lot. I did not see that coming. But what about Kyle? What do you got, sir?
You can probably guess which one it's going to be. It's American Waterfront.
Is it?
Again,
Seriously?
it reminds me a lot, again, of the stuff that I make, and then who I strive to be like, which is ex-coaster. And I haven't really felt like I've been in a theme park, so to speak, in this game since Disney Air. And then looking at this park was, bam, that was it again. Because, I mean, it's just, to break it apart, it's a mix of all the more recent Disney parks, like MGM, California Adventure, Disney Sea. But I don't know. You can picture yourself there, like that freaking Inception, or not Inception wall, the whatever forced perspective wall, like
Wall.
don't skip it. But like, bam, I'm like looking at that, and obviously that's giving me vibes of like the walls at MGM or whatever DHS. And the little boardwalk thing, that's fucking awesome. I can just you just walk in there, you can imagine that little fake roller coaster. It's no California Screaming, but it'll do.
I gotta give
Wall.
Robbie a little bit of credit for that. He kind of thought that would be a cool idea. Just like
Okay.
a little something. I don't know.
Are you suggesting that you guys talked during Meant to Have?
Oh my gosh.
No.
And like walking under the Golden Gate Bridge, that's awesome. And even the way that you made the interiors of I don't know what it's called, rock and roll. It's not Rock and Roller Coaster, but
Oh, the Escape from Alcatraz.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, that's just like the interior for Rock and Roller Coaster, not super neon music video like, but hey, it's the same thing, same concept.
Yeah, I don't.
The
really
Finding
know.
Nemo show, I can picture myself there watching Finding Nemo take place.
The Finding Nemo.
It's awesome.
musical.
It's awesome.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I don't really get that with the New Orleans area and all that. I don't really relate to that so much.
You're not from the South. That's your problem.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it's fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you. You were much inspiration, by the way, for this part. You and Robbie. You guys, your work is just, your
Aw,
architecture
shucks.
skills are just great. But, Robbie, best atmosphere? Did I already ask you that?
I'm going to rep for the park that I've been continually repping for this entire time, and go with Rev. Just again, immersion, the detail work, the ideas, the stories behind everything, the way that the certain rides worked, like the way that the Woody kind of curled around itself and how that worked with the factory next to it, and the suspended coaster in the castle, and then that whatever the fucking flat ride was that was sitting on that upside down umbrella inside the suspended coaster. Just everything I think worked really well. Like it's one of the few parks that seems almost cinematic.
Cinematic. That's another. Just bring out the words tonight, Robbie. Yes, I agree. Cinematic, immersive. Fantastic.
Should I say that I have dictionary.com open right now?
Thesaurus? Yes, please. But yeah, just that's what you go for atmosphere. All right, let's move on here. I think the next award is Best Landscape. And, I mean, Ashcombe, I really thought Ashcombe, I mean, it's all landscape and foliage. Successful by all means. I mean, when I look at that overview, I'm thinking farm and like small town feel or something, trying to become like a major, or just a little small town family park or something. And that's great. Let's go start with Kyle this time.
Lejang.
Lejang, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't exactly remind me of its namesake.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't know. I mean, Liam could probably say, oh, yes, it does. Well, no, it doesn't. But, I don't know, it's a great mix of every single type of landscape you can have. It has the mountains, it's got the river, it's got the giant water source, it's got the little rice paddies, which are, oh my gosh, it's great. I mean, there's not much to say.
I thought, yeah. Lijiang, like, I was really skeptical about the landscape myself, because Liam and Solik really had the idea to, like, make that topography, and it was just so successful. Yeah, I was so glad that they did that. Robbie, what do you got for us, sir?
Yeah, I'll have to go with Lijiang as well. That was just the rock work and the way that the plants worked around it, and the switch from the side that was, this kind of lush, leafy, rolling hills area with the city, and then kind of the rougher, rockier scrub. It worked really, really well. And I really liked the execution on Ashcombe, and the landscape and foliage was nice, but I think what I liked the most about Lijiang was that it really took a risk.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, it takes some balls to do rock towers like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I said it was risky, but yeah, again, just really a dynamic feel, like impact on the whole map. What about you, G?
Ashcombe.
Ashcombe, yeah.
For sure.
Lewis finally gets his credit, but yeah, Ashcombe is beautiful.
I don't know. I think I like it more than other people. I don't know why.
Lewis all night.
It's just, yeah, it's not something you see every day. I mean, you can almost take this bench though and just start building a park on it. That's what I think is really cool too. Like, it's already even started with this little like wacky worm or something, but I can almost see this like barn right here as a station of another ride, like in the future. I don't know. Even this like little airport, like the little things, so great. Well said, G. Well said, sir. What's our next award? We got best idea. Best idea.
That was a fun one.
I guess I'll start this off. We're gonna have to give some credit to Kong and BG, but Frankenstein was fantastic, and I think one of the things that made it great was that black and white filter over the map. I mean, that is definitely not something we've seen, or I don't think I've seen. You guys may have seen, but it just did wonders to this map. Robbie, I think you agree with me, so I'm gonna pass it over to you, sir.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think the interesting thing is if you look at the rest of the list, it's all about, these neat little, the topic, the little things topic. All these little details will belong in there, but then you get to the black and white filter, and it's an amazing big thing. And I think it makes the park, like I remember when people were having us change the water palette so that it was just normal water and seeing it in color, and yeah, it was nice in color and the architecture was fine and everything, but I think that black and white filter really brought it to the next level in terms of atmosphere fusion.
Yep. Better said. Kyle, what do you think?
The forced perspective wall in Disney's American Waterfront.
Yeah, I think you.
I am still looking at that, wondering how you did it, because I know you told me so many times, but I'm still like, I don't know, perplexed. It's crazy.
I don't think people really understand what is going on there, but you just have to do like a cutaway of that wall to see how I built, literally into the other axis, not on this flat wall itself, to build a building, kind of like looking through. It's all about the perspective the isometric is, and Yeah, I think that was really creative on my part. I really kind of brought that together like out of nowhere. I thought it really made a difference, even though it was like, since it was so dense, as Robbie said earlier, like it was kind of hard to tell even those little things like that. But yeah, thank you. That took some thought. G.
I mean, my favorite is the black and white filter, but I mean the close second is the false perspective mural. But the only problem I had with that is I mean, yeah, you translated it to the game, but it wasn't really. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like it was a hard idea to think of. You just took it from an already park. But I just think that the black and white filter just adds so much to the game that hasn't been seen before, and it just fit the theme perfectly of the park and everything. So that was definitely it for me.
Yeah, I think this park was more based on the film. So as you said, with the timeline of the park, it was that black and white of the movie.
Right. Yeah. It goes so well.
Yep. I completely.
Yeah. When I opened it, I thought my game was broken.
Gimmick.
You thought your game was broken.
I didn't know. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's stunning. Just overall, I really love this design or submission, whatever you call it.
See, I think I was one of the people that didn't like it.
You didn't like it? Well, it was weird, like, coming from our team. I thought our Atlanta submission was actually pretty good. I thought we were going to get a little bit more votes, and this thing just blew it away, and I think one of the main reasons was because it had a black and white filter.
I almost think that was the only reason, though.
You
Just
think
because...
So? Like, this cast
I think
amazing.
Well,
I don't know. I really like the whole thing.
I just found it really
The
obnoxious.
architecture
Like,
in
you
your guys
just...
was better.
You open it up, and all you can hear is...
Terrible.
from all their just... I don't know, just little hacks and roller coasters going on.
And
It
that's
just
why I
ruined
run
it.
it on mute.
Yeah.
That's why I run it on mute.
I think it was Kuma
I
or
just
someone
think
else that
it's-
took away the black and white and made it a colored version, and I thought that was so much better. But yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I really like the whole park in general. I mean, it had good change of height, and it just, it was tall, but it didn't feel tall. It just, everything fit well within the scale of the game, and then the big fencing around it with all the minor details, and just the town below. I don't know. I really liked it a lot. It was one of my favorite parks of the entire year, actually.
I want to say one thing about it. I mean, you really compliment, like, all the other stuff, but the one thing that would just made no sense to me was this burger shack on the other side of this castle that you can't even see in the overview. Like, what was that? Does anybody know what that was? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? No.
I know what you're talking about. I had no idea what it was, though.
It was just a huge, like, burger. And
It looks cool. Looks like a meat grinder.
it looked like a cheeseburger. Anyway.
I got these cheeseburgers.
Let's move on to best logo. I'm going to kind of pull a weird one here. I'm going to have to say this Indian Point Ballpark logo by Emmy. I don't know. I just really like that one.
Who's that?
I don't know who Emmy is, but I liked his logo. I thought it was cool. I mean, it fit the park perfectly. Indians got a little baseball, and just the colors. It might just be these colors, but beautiful. What about you? Let's go, Robbie. What do you gotta say?
I gotta go with the replacements logo. I don't know why. It looked really cool. I loved the kind of juxtaposition between those silhouettes and the yellow, bold sans serif
I thought the
font there.
replacements logo was just so fitting for what
I loved
Kyle is. Like, he loves comic books and just, oh my gosh.
It's
You know,
comic
Comic
book to a T.
comic book characters.
Absolutely. Is that your
It
favorite
was
one,
fantastic.
Kyle?
Actually, it is not, but my favorite one is another 5 Day of Creation. It's the Nightingale logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I thought
That I
that was
think
good as
just
well.
fits. I'm like looking at it right now. I can't even, or I didn't never notice this, but I don't even know if this was intentional. But maybe 5 days can't answer. But the eyes, they're moons. To me they look like moons. It almost looks like they're just part of the font, but at the same time it looks like they're like half crescent moons.
I do see that, actually. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I
just
don't
so
see
simple.
what you're
So
talking
simple.
about.
It's just like a gradient on that cursive font, and then paint splattered over it. But if you guys want to make a cool logo, put paint splatters everywhere because it looks awesome.
And
Like the Christmas challenge. That's awesome because there's paint everywhere. It's a little cheesy with a Christmas tree, but
I'll
still
thought it
pretty.
fit. I mean, pretty much just took the other one and added a Christmas tree, but I like that one as well.
And
What
then
about you,
Red placements, but
Curtis?
yeah.
What does Curtis think?
I'm gonna go with the Great Escape Colorado. I don't know. It's just a fun logo. I like the font and I like the outline around it. It's just fun, and it's kind of like the Cedar Flags font, how with the outline, but it's a lot better done. I like it. It makes me want to go to Six Flags.
No,
Seeing it.
It really looks like a Six Flags logo, but it's very well done. Let's move down. Let's move down in these the votes. Best RCT2 player. This one was kind of a tough one for me between Turtle and Liam, but I think as Liam might have been the most, although Liam might have been the most productive of 2012, I still think Turtle is just marvelous. Like I would have to give it to him. Kyle, what do you got to say about that, sir?
Definitely agree. I was going to vote Liam, but I saved his vote for another nomination later on. Just because, yeah, he's really good, but I don't think he's the best. And obviously he's great at producing stuff, but that doesn't mean you're the best at the game. That just means you're better at finishing everything than everyone else. So I would say Turtle. I would rate for Turtle here. Just because, yeah, he's had the most experience out of everyone, and that shows in his work. He doesn't keep up with modern trends as much as everyone else, but I think that's also what separates him.
The thing
And
about
he does it
Turtle,
just
though,
because...
yeah, he doesn't use the intricate objects of maybe like the present, but just the way he's always had like the ability to make those atmospheres that you just feel so in tune with, like immersive, exactly. Like the Rebe, I mean, that's something unmatched in my opinion. Robbie, what do you gotta say?
I gotta go with Turtle as well. I mean, there's something about his work that's, I think, so effortless in in a way that none of us can really approach. Like, I mean, I love your guys' work, but I look at it and I can see, how hard it is to make a certain building look a certain way, and how many objects you had to put there to make the texture work in a way that you work or something like that. But with Jem's work, I mean, you can literally have a wall and a window and a bush next to it, and somehow it's way more atmospheric and interesting in a textural way than pretty much anybody else's work. I feel like he kind of accumulated this knowledge of the game over the years and this innate sense of park making opposition that I don't think anybody else has reached yet. And I think that's really what's helped him stand both in head-to-head and just in general on the site.
Yeah, just that his experience just makes him so great. What about you, Curtis?
I'm gonna have to go with you, Justin, because Pacificoaster. Because not that the other people aren't good. I mean, everybody's nominated is really good, but just out of the work that was released in 2012, I'm most looking forward to, based on the work that you built, what you're going to build in the future.
Thank you, sir. That means a lot. To put my name over Turtle, I don't know if I could take that. But thank you. That means a lot. Let's see what else we got here. Best LL player. Now this one was really tough for me because all these guys are incredibly talented. See, like Loopy is fantastic, as we already said with Raven, just like countless times. And Piero has just incredible ability to make things look amazing. And then again, Airtime, like I absolutely loved Inferno. I know it wasn't part of 2012 at all, but that design was just stunning. So I really can't even make a consensus here. I just thought all these guys were just fantastic. Robbie, what do you got to say?
For me, I'm pretty much split in between Loopy and Piero. I mean, both of them I think are fantastic in different ways. I think Loopy has gotten theming and atmosphere and just mood down. Park making in general, I think he absolutely excels at, and I think Piero just completely excels at like the new age of LL. It doesn't necessarily come together into the same feel and same park making skills that Loopy has, but I mean his detail use and hacking is insane. Like I envy that kind of originality when it comes to using track and ride cars.
Agreed. Speaking of hacking, what do you think, Curtis?
What are we talking about?
Talking about best LL player, sir.
Oh, yeah. Definitely Loopy.
Loopy.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. He just I like his stuff. There's not much else to say.
It's good.
Every time I see a screen or a park from him, I like it. I mean, there's nothing that he can build that I don't like except his RCT2 work, because I think that's horrible.
Some people are just meant to be on one game. Kyle.
I would say Loopy. I compare him to the Loopy Landscapes version of Turtle. He's been here forever, and it shows. But that's okay, because obviously, like, he'll keep up with the latest trends, but he always sticks back to his more, his more old school look. And so it's like a neat blending of new school meets old school. And like, yeah, you get the same type of thing in with Turtle's work, how it's super atmospheric and all that. And he kind of just does whatever he wants. And I think that's fantastic. Someone like Piero, he's more like the new age guy with codecs and all that. Like, he's great, his technical skill is awesome, but he's lacking atmospherically, which which someone like Loopy, just flourishes at. He's great at it. Like, look at this, like, Jerusalem. That's fantastic. But again, like we've already mentioned, it's very good on a technical level. But when you compare it to something like Raven, in my opinion, it falls short.
Yeah. Well said. Very well said. Most productive player. I'm probably gonna have to go with Liam on this one, just for the fact that he released, I think it was like 3 head-to-head parks and also like a solo. So I think I have to go with him. Yeah. Robbie, what do you got?
I'm surprised Mavericks isn't on this list. To be honest, I feel like every few weeks we get another submission from him. But I mean, on this list, I think it's probably for me in between Rumi and Liam. I think I ended up going with Rumi, partially because I think, he did with his parks in head-to-head, they were primarily him. Even if they weren't, fully solo, they still pretty much seemed like it, and he always kept up a pretty consistent flow of his own releases. But I guess that's what happens when you live on a boat, so all you can really do is play.
Let's take it over to G.
I went with Rumi.
Rumi is pretty
Yeah,
productive.
I mean, he's finished some spotlights, or I think, one spotlight, so even though that wasn't last year, it's like, you gotta hand it to him. That's pretty
damn
good. Pretty good.
What about you, Kyle?
Liam. No matter the game, he's always pumping out new work. Because he says he always has like 1,000 projects going on, and we all do, but he's the one that actually finishes all of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether
I
it
agree
takes
with that.
18 years or not.
Yeah. I mean, just for the year, though, just the fact that you can build that many head-to-head parts and still release something.
And still release stuff afterward and beforehand, yeah.
That's insane. Next one, this one's really tough for me, this next vote. Most promising player. I mean, I saw DJ's Feldman one. I have to say, he is probably the most promising. But that park shows a lot of promise. Shotguns, yeah, your architecture sometimes is pretty good, but you kind of just recreate other people's stuff, and I would like some more originality and creativity from you, and maybe a different color palette. I also think Arjun's really good. I think he produces some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I would have to give that to DJ. What about you, G?
I went with DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't paid much attention, so. But
Yeah.
from what I did see, his stuff was pretty good.
What about Robbie?
Yeah, I'm going with DJ as well. I mean, everybody on the list shows some good promise. I mean, Scotland's Finest has some nice work going on, and so do Extreme and Arjun. I mean, Shotguns has shown that on a technical level he's really strong, but I mean, I do feel that the originality and cohesion is lacking a bit. And yeah, I mean, the color palette is pretty horrendous. So I feel like he reins that in. he'll show, more promise. DJ in a way, looking at his latest park, has accumulated this, further sense of park making than I feel like some of the others have. Like the others, I've seen great screens, but they haven't necessarily translated to great work. Whereas with DJ, he's had some great screens, and it's translated to a park that's looking really strong.
Yep.
At the moment.
Kyle.
This is probably the hardest of all categories. A lot of these people have shown, they've shown pretty good screens, but they're all from 2013. Just saying. Just bringing that up. Based on 2012 screens, DJ, and also because of some head work, I'll say DJ. Scotland's Finest, he's starting to look really good, but a lot of his most recent stuff is from this year, like 2013, and therefore I think that notches him down. Not saying he's not promising, but on a 2012, based voting system, he's just not as high as, say, someone like DJ, who actually did put out pretty good work in 2012, along with other screens and stuff like that. Not just on a head-to-head level.
That's a good point. Like, you have to release something too, I guess, that's actually decent. And we lost somebody in the call. Hello?
Hey, sorry.
That's okay. You mean nothing to us, Rob. Alright, let's go to most knowledgeable. This is probably something we can all speak on. I'm going to start it off with G. See what he thinks with these.
I voted for...
Yourself? Yeah, we know. But,
I voted for Rumi, actually, I think.
Yeah. Rumi is really knowledgeable.
Yeah. No, he knows the game in and out, especially LL. Maybe not so much RCT2, but he understands LL better than anybody, so...
I almost want to concur with you, but I think Kumbo's really knowledgeable of the game.
Yeah, he is. I kind of overlooked him, but
Yeah,
he really is.
And yourself, I think you definitely influence a lot of people, and you just know a lot about the game. Even though you haven't been around for a while, maybe you haven't released anything, but just the hacking ability that you have, or had, you definitely know what you're doing. Robbie, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I guess looking at that list, I'd say probably in between for me, Rumi and G. Just because I think, I also find Pozik's really knowledgeable, but I think he's more knowledgeable in a theoretical sense compared to the others. Talking park making design theory with him, I think, is always an interesting experience, and it's a really compelling conversation. But it's hard to kind of ignore the person who gave us the easy invisible hut hack, or the guy who's pretty much revolutionized the way that LL hacking has worked. So, I guess I'm kind of torn between either one and don't really have a preference. So, G or Rumi?
G or Rumi. Kyle?
Is it pronounced Fadage or Fadage? I'd say Fadage.
I thought it was Fadage.
Fadage, whatever it is.
Fatage?
Let's call him Bob.
Phatage. The Six Flags World of Excitement guy. Yes, that guy.
That guy.
Again, looking at a 2012 mindset. In 2012, I definitely looked at his posts the most. Like, on a theme park sense, I always thought that he knew the most out of everything. Like, my whole,
True.
all the coaster lineups of my parks are based on the suggestions by that guy. Just like, oh, hey, like specifically Six Flags parks, he's like, obviously you can't mix, like, an Intamin Hyper and a Batman the Ride. They don't do that, just based on the capacity and, like, how big is your park? Like, how many people are you attracting? Are you attracting, like, millions, like Great Adventure? Then obviously you don't put something like Bizarro in it, as in, like, the Intamin Bizarro, or something like that, because, they get giant inverts, like, giant B&M inverts because of the capacity that they need, that sort of thing. Just different little, I don't know,
That sounds
on a realistic
cute,
sense.
On a realistic sense. Cute little like conversation between you and Fadage. I wish I was there.
That definitely was, posted. But okay, I've never actually personally spoken with the guy. Just saying.
Okay.
That
That sounds legitimate though.
Just stuff like that. Like I was so glad that he actually came back because I always look forward to anything he had to say.
That's
And so
one
on
of
a
the things that we don't think
2012
of.
on a 2012 aspect, I would definitely say him.
Touche. Something we don't even think of are just those kind of things with capacity on rides in a park and like how this, like the variety of rides in your park would like change the capacity. That's definitely something I don't even think about. And most helpful, man, these are kind of interesting. I'm gonna have to go with Liam just based on head to head and him as a coach. I mean,
Why is Min not on this? Like what?
man, yeah, we love you, dude.
It's like, what?
You're probably most inspirational member for me, but yeah, definitely Liam, just being the coach he was and just extremely helpful to our team.
Why did I get nothing? Like what?
Why are you here? But yeah, on that note, see what Robbie's got to say. Most helpful.
Or most helpful?
Yeah.
So everyone?
Yeah.
I mean, to be quite honest, most of those people on the list I don't find that helpful. So I guess I had a hard time just justifying a choice. But for me, I've got to go with Rumi again. I mean, I think he is helpful in the way, I mean, his hacking tutorials, he's always willing to help out. I think in terms of members, he's always one that's willing to kind of help out and reach out to newer members. I think Lewis and Liam are up there, but that I don't think they're quite at the same level that Rumi is in terms of their approachability when it comes to help.
Touche.
And I don't really have an opinion on Casimir, Johnny, or Arjun for their help, to be honest.
Now, I know you're a little sad about you're not having your place in the awards, Nin, but what do you think's most helpful? Who do you
I guess I can't speak for Liam because I didn't have him as a captain. So, or same with Lewis. Johnny, he was on my team, and he was very helpful actually. Can't speak for Casimir either or Arjun, just because I don't have any experience as being helpful. So I guess Rumi on the technical side of things, because he's always roaming around, or he was always roaming around the Ask the Experts section. Yeah, he's practically a moderator there, just because if you had anything, he's one of the first to always say something back. And I guess that's what I'd go with. That's really all I have to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. Gee, we know you didn't really make a presence much in 2012, but who was the most helpful to you in 2012? That's cool. Nobody? That's all right. We're going to move on to funniest member.
Pacificoaster, why is he not on?
Why am I not helpful? Funniest member. Like, this is really weird. Like, I don't even know what to think about this award, but no one really can make me laugh. I don't know. None of these people really made me laugh, I guess. Except more than, like, Midnight Aurora. I don't even know what these votes are, but I would have to say MA, I guess. Robbie?
Yeah, MA and maybe Aura are the only people on that list I actually find funny. So, yeah, MA.
Nin,
Dave,
you're the comedian.
Liam, Lewis, I love your RCT skills, but you just don't make me laugh.
Dot flow, white, multiply.
Dot flow is hilarious.
Dot.
5
That's
Dave
2013.
definitely. Not saying. I mean, no. 5 Dave definitely had a few laughs when the replacements had our little signature, the little signature banners, and he had Mr. Bean. Like that was fantastic.
That was actually great. That was great. I did love that.
But I think that was his 15 seconds of fame. Lewis is funny on a more personal side, like, you know, if you're talking in chat or something like that with him. Liam, I don't think you're funny, I'm sorry. Midnight, at times, is a very sarcastic funny, and so that leaves us with RMM. I've never actually, I don't really burst out laughing. Like, LOL, I don't literally LOL whenever I'm reading most people's posts, but he always cracks me up. Like, can someone, can someone teach me, or maybe someone can come up with how to make a custom scenery for Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, or whatever. I know that was, from this year, but that was fantastic. That's why that was my signature.
The 2013 awards, that will be known.
If the Twitter page doesn't get a recommendation, 2013,
Tweet it now.
I'm quitting. Remember this, Luke.
Why isn't Nin not in for funniest member? He's done some funny things. Friendliest member, another one. Kind of a tough choice for me. I probably have to go with In-Cities. He just seems like a pretty humble guy, very friendly, very kind dude. I don't know, I really haven't spoken with him on a like social media level, like through Skype or anything, but he seems like a very, very friendly dude. Robbie.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
In-Cities he's really friendly, always open to talking to people, being nice. Rumi, I think, is up there as well. Probably Lewis following after that. Liam, I think, is friendly in general, although I think he and I have always had a little bit of tension. I don't know why, but... And then Arjun and Casimir, I never really talked to, and I guess the problem for me with Casimir is I've kind of only associated with him through head-to-head and experience and talking to him with about Magnus, which isn't a very friendly conversation, so... Yeah, I'm going to go with In-Cities.
All right. That clarifies my vote a little bit more. Kyle, what do you got to say, sir?
In-Cities. Who else leaves a smiley face after every single post? He's got that awesome equal sign bracket smiley face. No one does that. It's fantastic. In-Cities, definitely.
I think working for Disney helps. I think that'll help you out in 2013 Friendliest Member Award. Kyle.
If I'm not on the awards next year, I'm telling you.
If you're not there for Friendliest or Funniest,
or anything,
I think for the Twitter itself, you deserve Funniest Member. I mean, these tweets.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't subscribed to the NE Twitter page, oh my goodness, this kid drops freaking jokes every 5 seconds, all related to RCT, and they're just, oh my gosh. I was sitting in class and literally I LOL'd the other day. I felt like such a douchebag, but oh my god, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Ah, man, I wish that was there in 2012 because that you would have solidified your vote from there. That was just
easily
hilarious. All right, something we didn't talk about was best write-up. Now, I'm not really one to read write-ups, but I would like to thank these people that actually take their time and write up a significant portion to a design or anything submitted. So thank you for you guys.
Yeah, you guys do a good job.
Yeah.
And I'll pass my award on to you guys somehow.
Yeah.
3 years of... Guys, none of you guys did what I did, which was just write one big long one for the year to get the award and then just not write any more.
That one write-up of the year.
Yeah, why you did that?
Kyle, what do you think about write-ups?
I've read a novel.
I mean, I definitely respect the release page team. I've always wanted to do write-ups, definitely, because I respect the work they do. And I've always wanted to get into logos, and I always find myself not having the time to do either. So, again, I do appreciate the people that actually do enjoy that kind of stuff. And I know sometimes I'm like, yeah, subscribe to this logo. Yeah, I'll totally do it. I have this killer idea. 3 days later, oh my gosh, I didn't even do it.
Yeah, if you guys ever want a logo by Nin, you're going to get one beautiful sketch on paper made of beautiful Sharpies and ballpoint pens, but I don't know if he can maybe take his time out of his day to go into maybe Adobe Photoshop or anything to,
5 days. If you run out of ideas, I got your back.
They're all sketched out on paper. He's got you. But,
he's an idea man, guys. An idea man.
I mean, that pretty much concludes our discussion on our 2012 predictions. I thought it was went pretty well. Let's see if G's still here. G, you still here, bud? Chirp, chirp. Cricket, cricket. Nope, doesn't sound like he's not here. I really wanted to talk about NE5. I guess I'm still going to talk about it, even though maybe he'll come back out of nowhere. But
Kyle and I have...
Yeah, we've all seen it. I mean, it's definitely more user-friendly, and I'm very excited for it, and I wish G was here to talk a little bit more about it, but it really looks great. I mean, what do you guys think? You guys have both seen it.
I'm excited about a lot of the newer game features that'll be coming along with it. Just the idea of a totally easier database when it comes to searching for individual screens and projects and kind of linking those together, and the idea of being able to fan a certain screen and public ranking of screens and the object database. I mean, that's going to be really helpful, I think, because now we'll finally be able to get objects without having to register for rct2objectlist.com.
I really believe that too. I mean, it really looks awesome. I mean, just finding a screen is just going to be so helpful, because sometimes you're looking for screens when people post from a year or two ago and you just can't find them, but now your screens will have your name attached to them. We can just type in your name, and then your screen's going to come up from the beginning of time, which is just awesome. I don't
Yeah.
know. Have you really interacted with
It's
it
gonna be the
much,
first.
Kyle, or no?
Not for a very long time. It wasn't operational. Well, it was barely operational when I actually started
Yeah.
delving into it. I mean, the main thing I love, I don't think I should say. I mean, it's nothing like, oh my gosh, that's the giant new feature. No, it's nothing like that. It just has to do with the color that it is now, which is fantastic. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I'll wait. We definitely should have had it like 6 years ago. Definitely. Definitely.
I
But
mean, it's
I
coming.
won't hold anyone to that. So.
What were you gonna say
I
earlier,
like how
Robbie? I
it's
was gonna cut you
a
off.
complete rehaul.
Yeah, it
What?
really is. It is like an overhaul. It doesn't even look like the same site at all.
No,
But it
like
seems a
the
lot more
previous
different.
NE updates seem to be updates. This is the
This is
evolution of
the-
the site. Like it's
yeah.
amazing. G's work on this is fantastic.
I really wish he was still around. I don't know where he went. Might have dozed off.
This is where he's been all year, guys.
Yeah, this is where he's been. If you want to know about him for 2012, that's where he's been. But yeah, a fantastic job on NE5. It's coming along. He's been working on it definitely this past week. I know that for sure. So that pretty much concludes, I guess, our entire webcast.
No honorary mentions. Man.
No honorary mention. I'm going to have to go with honorary mention number one. Best architecture, Kyle, Warner Brothers, and Disneyland. Absolutely stunning castle and absolutely stunning main strip of buildings in Warner Brothers.
Fine.
You're welcome, sir.
Paying my station dust.
Kyle, you don't want to toot your own horn, so I'm not going to give you any honorary mention talk.
That's all right.
You just wanted me to say your name. But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty successful year. I mean, sure, head-to-head stakes might have changed people's perceptions on the site and people, but that's what competitions do. You will have changed feelings about people. Some people will seem more like an asshole, but overall, I thought we had a pretty nice year. On that note, make sure that you guys cast your votes for the 2012 awards, and we hope to have another installment of the NE official webcast very soon. Thank you very much.